What's up, Detroit Lions fans? One Pride, baby. It's your host, Daniel McClure, with your co-host, Mr. One Pride, episode 10. What's up, Mike?
Oh, what's going on, man? We moved down these shows. Episode 10, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Football's still going on. Wish the Lions were playing in the playoffs, but they're not. But we're still going to be talking about the Lions all year long until next season. Don't forget to follow us on @Restore the Roar on Twitter, on YouTube @Restore the Roar Podcast, or on Podbean @Restore the Roar Podcast. Let's do this, Mike. Let's get into a couple big things. I want to talk about the season still. We're still in football mode. We can still talk about the Lions season. I want to know your biggest moment, your best moment, the best play, game of the season. Give me everything you think about the Lions. I got something for you as well.
All right, my man. Well, we'll start off going one by one, man. I start off with mine. You start off with yours.
Okay.
Best moment. Hey, man, it was Dan Campbell getting his first win on the road, man. You know, that was big, man. You know, come back against the Bears 31-10. Hey, it was against the arch enemy. It was big for him to get that first road win, you know, because we wanted one bad, man. And the way we did it by coming back, getting that victory, man. You know, Okuda catching that interception. So, you know, St. Brown had 10 receptions, 119 yards. It was just a big game, man. So that was my biggest moment from the season. What about yours, man?
First road win. Yeah, that was huge. Yeah. And it was tough. That game wasn't easy. That game wasn't pretty. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about the next week after when we got back-to-back road wins for the first time. Right. I can't remember who we played after the Bears, but we got back-to-back road wins. I think it was the Giants. But I was thinking about the Giants win because that was a big win. We were underdogs. Yeah. And I told you, I called it. We were going to win. I had no doubt.
You did.
It's not an in-season moment for me, but to me, this was the biggest start of your Hard Knocks, man. Us being on Hard Knocks, the world got to see what Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and the Detroit Lions were all about. It got me hyped up for the year.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, the world got to see them kneecaps he wanted to bite.
Man.
It was all good, man.
Oh, man. Jamal Williams' speech, man. I tell you what. Yeah, the Hard Knocks for me was the biggest moment because it really put us out there. Okay. You know, we had a tough start to the year. If I want to say Hard Knocks, I would go with the Giants win because that was the first consecutive on the road victory for Campbell and the squad. So that was mine. And then my biggest play, I have to give it to the big man Sewell. That catch, that play call by Ben Johnson, Campbell letting it happen. That was the biggest play of the year for me.
Hey, man, I had that as one of my most underrated plays. But my biggest play was Jamison Williamson, his first touchdown, man.
First catch?
Yeah, his first catch. That was a touchdown. You know, it was, 41 yards, man. And once again, it was against the enemy. It was against the Vikings. You know, we waited all season to see what that kid can do coming off that injury. He showed us some of that speed. Not all of it, but he showed us some. So that was one of my big best plays of the season, man.
I like it. Yeah. Getting the Rook involved after blowing his ACL against a divisional opponent. I like it, man. So what was your game of the season? I'm sure we can all say the Packers game. That's the easy one. The second Packers game, of course.
Yeah.
But what was your game of the year?
I had three. Number one was definitely the Packers, man, because, you know, Aaron Rodgers was doing all that talking, man. You know, I had the game circled. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He didn't do nothing. Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing, man. But the second would be the Jets game, you know, because it was in New York. It was cold. A lot of people thought Jared Goff was going to blow that game. And the way we won it, you know, we played with grit, something Dan Campbell always talk about, man. And we went out there and we just took the game from them. But one other game, man, like I said, I had three, the Jaguars. Because we crushed them on both sides of the ball, man, offense and defense. And the way they just played, man, it was great, man. That was really a blowout game. You know, and Jacksonville is no slouch. You know, look what they did in the playoffs. So those was my games for sure.
Love it because we're pretty much in line for that. Yeah. I would say, I mean, Packers, the last game of the year, week 18, that's an easy one to say, right?
Yeah.
Huge game for this franchise. I think a pivotal turning point for this franchise. So how can you not say that? But I want to give a couple extras like you did because, you know, that's an obvious one. To me, that Giants game, that second road win in a row was huge. They were, I don't know, 7-3 at the time, something. They were supposed to dominate us. We were 3-7 or whatever.
And we shut down Barkley. We shut him down.
Yeah. Yeah, and we shut down Barkley, like you said,
Yeah,
and Daniel Jones, who was
exactly.
playing well, and that was a playoff team. They
Mhm.
went and won a playoff game.
Thank you.
So they're no slouch, and we dominated them on the road.
On the road.
And then the other one was the Jags, because that's again a playoff team. They're no slouch. They beat some good teams to get in at the end
Sure
of the
did.
year. Lawrence is playing well. They got a
Mhm.
good defense, but we blew them out.
Blew them out, man. On
Blew them
both
out.
sides of the ball, man. Blew them out.
Yeah, blew them out. So I mean, you could pick any of those, but Packers is an obvious one.
Mhm.
But I still think you could even go to the Packers' first game that started our win streak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't an easy win for us.
It
We were
wasn't.
still injured, and but to see Aaron Rodgers as pissed off as he was during that game,
Mhm.
I love it, man.
Yeah. And one thing about the first Packers game, man, the offense wasn't rocking and rolling that game. The defense is what really won the game for us, man.
Yep.
So just like they did, exactly, man. So that's one game we should have gave more, input on. Is that one right there for sure?
Yeah, I mean, we only had 15 points, right? We won 15-9, but we got it done, and then we showed up in Lambeau.
Exactly.
My most underrated play of the year has to be when Campbell went for it on that fake punt on our own 26. What's crazy is it was against the Vikings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were only up 14-7 at that time.
Yeah.
If we don't get that game might go the other way.
Hey, you're right, man.
And so, I mean, at the time, people were talking about it was gutsy, but that was also a season-defining moment, because we were just coming into, can we make the playoffs now? We need to beat, we need to beat the Vikings. We need to beat the next team. And so that one was huge for us, that game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, the Panay Sewell, I had that one as one of my most underrated, but I also felt like Brock Wright, against the Jets, he coming across, the play action, and, it was a 41-yard touchdown. Whoever would have thought Brock Wright?
He runs a 4.6, man.
Thank you, man. So, that was a big play for us for sure on 4th and inches, man. That score right there put us up 20-17, and we won the game in New York. So, yeah, that was a big play to me.
Even bigger because he dropped that first down pass, right? He dropped that, put us behind the sticks. We were needed to drive down, but he came back and clutched it for us.
Exactly.
Now, let's just sum the season up in a whole. What do you think the Lions' biggest accomplishment was this year?
I would say, that's a good question. Sweeping the Packers.
Going 5-1 in the division, right?
Yeah, 5-1 in the division, man. Whoever would have really thought that, especially the way we started the season and how we finished. And like going 5-1 in that division, man, sweeping the Bears, sweeping the Packers, like I said, and then knocking the Packers out of the playoffs, even though, we was already out of it. So that was it right there, man.
Yeah, that's a big one. To me, it was getting on that hot streak, right? Going 8-2. After starting off 1-6. I mean, to think about the Lions' history and what we normally do and how we started and how last year was and how the same old Lions were coming up. I mean, everybody was giving up at that time. We were 1-6.
Yep.
Dude, to go 8-2 with one of the toughest schedules during that period with this young of a team, to me, is our biggest accomplishment. I mean, that sets the tone for next year. I think we're on pace to do big things, man.
Oh yeah, playoffs for sure in that season, man. I can really see it, and they buying into everything that Dan Campbell is preaching in that locker room, man. They play hard for that dude, man.
Yeah, if it not only playoffs, I'm calling a playoff win next year. We're going to host a playoff game and we're going to win.
Yeah, book it, man.
Book it.
Hey, we there. We there.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. We there. Yeah.
If we in the playoffs, I might have to be going to that one. I'll tell you that much.
Easy, man.
Okay. Well, enough about the season. We might trickle some stuff in from the previous season, but we got to start looking forward, man. It's a lot of good stuff. We got the draft coming up. We got free agents coming up. We touched on how we can get up to almost $50 million in cap space. To me, you put on our Twitter page, do you want to trade for Jalen Ramsey? I wasn't for it at first, but 70% of the people wanted it. I want to know your 2 or 3 maybe dream free agent pickups or trade scenarios right now.
As you said, man, I'll put it on Twitter page. So of course we need to trade for Jalen Ramsey, man. The Rams looking like they might try to rebuild some things, and I'm all for doing that trade. We also, I wouldn't mind if we go out and try to get Josh Jacobs, if only if we don't re-sign Jamal. You know, that's the main thing. But I wouldn't take nothing away from that, man. But Tremaine Edwards, he's a nice little linebacker that we need. Sheldon Rankins, that's somebody I would look forward to, you know. So there's a couple defensive players that I really want to put on that side of the ball for us moving forward.
Yeah, you know, 70% of the fans on our Twitter page said they want Ramsey.
Yeah.
He's a lot of money, but you know, we need a corner. I mean,
bad.
We need multiple corners. So, I mean, Marshawn Lattimore's getting thrown around there. I like that one. You know, we have 2 first-round picks, right? We could trade one of those first-round picks for Marshawn Lattimore, and we get a proven commodity. But with the way Holmes drafts.
Yeah, he want to build through the draft, man. So
yeah, they're cheap, you know. I don't know. Ramsey, Lattimore, they're pretty expensive.
It really is.
It's not going to happen. I want Hopkins here. Man, I know everybody said we don't need a receiver. Dude, we need a big body touchdown red zone receiver.
We do.
Because
that's the only type of receiver we're missing.
We need one. I mean, that is what we're lacking. I mean, Jameson Williams to me is going to fill Shark's role. Once that chemistry gets there, and then he's going to do so much more. He's young, he's explosive.
Yeah.
And we need that big body red zone target. I would love to have Hopkins here. And then, man, I want to see Deron Payne. That dude's a freak.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Now, they're saying that he will probably command like 5 years, $100 million. I don't know. You brought up this point, which was good. We tried to trade for Debo.
We sure did.
So we're not opposed to trying to go out and get something proven.
Yeah, because that's the reason when the 49ers did not that offer, that's why we moved up in the draft to get Jameson.
Yep.
You know?
So we're not opposed to go out. To me, we'll go on this a little bit, but to me, maybe one big play. So Hopkins, Deron Payne, he's a free agent. Hopkins, we'd have to trade. And then I'm with you, Tremaine Edmonds. He's a stud inside linebacker. I mean, just absolute freak. That guy he's nasty. Now, a couple names that I'm hearing throwing around. I want to see what about Tony Pollard?
I can see that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't think about Tony Pollard. I was like, okay, he was playing well for them.
He really was.
I believe he's a free agent. And I was like, Tony Pollard might be a good fit for us. I mean, he's not that swift role.
I got another one for you. What about Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt?
Yeah. Because we got to start looking at running backs, and you also have David Montgomery out there.
I don't want Montgomery, even though I do like him. Kareem Hunt's nice. Pollard would be nice. I mean, I honestly, they don't believe in Swift. He was in the doghouse all year. He was hurt. I mean, man, I wish he could stay healthy because he is so explosive, but I'm not seeing that. Okay, well, the free agents, right? We started talking about a little bit. Personally, I don't think we're going to make a huge splash. We're probably going to get one, and maybe two, big names to mediocre names, and then we're probably going to sign most of our guys back.
Yeah, I say just one because Brad Holmes wants to build his team through the draft. He has said that since day one when we first hired him. So I just say one. That's about it. But I know he had the connection with the Rams, so that's why I look at the Jalen Ramsey or even Troy Hill, the cornerback for the Rams, also because he tried to get Troy Hill here once before. Yeah, it didn't work. So that's just something I look at.
Yeah, I mean the Rams are easy, right? They have that connection with Holmes. If you look at it now, we'll have to see what next year brings because you can't take away the fact that the Rams won the Super Bowl. But I tell you what, if we win our first playoff game in 30 years, it looks like Holmes fleeced the Rams, man.
And I have one more person for you, man. What about P.J. Williams for the Saints? Because we had that Saints connection too with Aaron Glenn.
Dan Campbell.
And Dan Campbell. P.J. Williams, he's not terrible.
No, I'm with you. I think one, maybe two, but most likely one. We got 19 free agents. We're probably going to bring back about 10 to 15 of those. Yeah. And then we have 8 picks in the first 8 picks total, 5 in the first 80, right?
Yeah, that's big.
We're going to have 3 to 4 starters coming out like we did this year.
Easy.
I mean,
Easy.
Malcolm Rodriguez, Kirby Joseph,
Mhm.
Hutchinson, right? I mean, the list goes on of the people. I mean, we got Pascal out there too. So interesting to see. Now, a couple free agents that we didn't talk about. Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
I like him.
Mhm.
Hargrave from the Eagles. I like
Yep.
him. Cox is a little bit older. Hargraves is getting there, but those dudes are freaks on the inside of that defensive line.
Yeah. What about Solomon Thomas and Keywan Alexander?
They're both free agents.
Yeah.
If we get one big body D tackle, I'm happy. Like those Rankins, like you brought up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are all people that I wouldn't mind getting in here and filling that and sitting next to McNeil and then having Bugs as rotational, right?
Man, that'll be nasty.
I mean, we know we want to build through that trenches.
Yep.
Our offensive line outside of probably one position, because I think Evan Brown's gone.
Yeah.
And now that I want to think about that, we talked about Evan Brown being gone, cutting Big V. A lot of people are saying they want to keep Big V because we can't get rid of both of them.
Yeah, we have to keep one though.
What do you think? Because I don't think we're signing Evan Brown. He's going to want $10+ million. We already got Big V making 13.
But from every report, they saying we're getting rid of Big V.
It makes sense. He's been injured. Yeah. He's $14 million cap hit. We cut him, save $10 million.
Yeah. So we let him go. That means we're gonna have to keep Evan Brown.
Or bring in a vet. I'm not that opposed to bringing in a rookie. I'm really not, because we got a left tackle, left guard, center, and right tackle all in there. Throwing a rookie, who cares?
Who cares? Studs.
Yeah. I'm not that against that, but I hear a lot of people not wanting to do that.
And we'll save a lot of money going that route too.
Yeah, and then we can bring in a big name linebacker, a big name cornerback, and then draft, right? Something that, I mean, our offensive line is good enough, but injuries happen. We have been injured, so I can see that argument. Mm-hmm. Yannick Ngakoue from, he had a pretty good year last year. I don't think we're going to go for a defensive end. We really don't need it. We have talent there. Yeah. But you can never have too many pass rushers in this league.
That's very true, man. You have to get to that quarterback nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then going to the inside linebacker, I'm going to say a name that you love. I got something for you on that. But Levante David, I wouldn't mind having him. He's about to be 33, but he's still a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin Bush. I hear he said he tweeted something about should I play for a previous player as a coach? Mm-hmm. So you might be hinting that he wants to come play for the Lions. That's your boy, man. What do you think?
Man, I love Devin Bush because I'm a diehard Michigan fan. Mm-hmm. But, he come in here, change the scenery sometimes can be best for him. I think with the defensive scheme we run, because he's fast, quick, he can hit. So he'll be all right, man. I feel like he'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, here's some good stats, right? Bush was a first-round pick.
Exactly. Yes, he was.
Rodrigo was a 6th-round pick, right?
And Rodriguez's numbers was better. It was about even. Yeah.
Let's see. 17 games each. Rodrigo, 87 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Bush, 81 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, no fumble recovery, no forced fumbles.
Yeah. And you got to think Devin Bush played on a way better defense in Pittsburgh.
Now, my question to you, is it Rodrigo or is it this defensive scheme and staff, or both? To me,
I would put more on it. I would put a little bit more with the staff and the scheme.
Yeah.
Only reason I would say that because he was drafted so low.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude came out beasting, man. So he played his part, but we put him in the right position and the right scheme to make those plays.
I like him. He's got swag, man. Yeah. He played fearless. When I didn't know too much about him, but when I looked at tape for him, I said, man, this guy can play linebacker. He can hit. He has a nose for the ball. I think it's both. I'd probably give a little bit more to the coaching staff, putting him in the position to succeed. But I'll tell you what, a 1st-round pick for a 6th-round pick, and they have the same year.
Yeah. That tell you something. So imagine what they could do with Devin Bush.
Yes, exactly. With that talent, right?
Right.
Now, there's not too many free agent corners that I like. The only one that I really think that we could even pursue is Jonathan Jones from the Patriots.
Yeah.
He's pretty solid. The Patriots never like to pay people. Only their 1 or 2 top guys. But yeah, we'll go into the draft in some future episodes. I really can't wait to do that. We're going to break down, round 1, round 2 and 3, round 4 through 7 in later episodes, who we want, because I think there's some big name players that we can get, especially with Holmes' eye. So one thing I did want to throw in here that we not too many talk about is, man, another rule change potentially at the expense of the Detroit Lions. Is this ever going to end?
No, but I told you during that game, it was some fishy calls going on in that Rams in Seattle. You said did. I was crazy. I said I watched a lot of football. I'd have seen this before. They try to keep the Lions out the playoffs. But, I like what Sheila did. She hit up the other owners. Something wasn't right. And even other owners said the Lions should have been in the playoffs and we should be furious. And something need to get done. They need a sky judge or sky ref or something because
well, that's what they're proposing, right? They're proposing the sky judge again. It got turned down before. Look, I'm going to sit here and say the Lions should have set themselves up better. We shouldn't have lost against Carolina. We shouldn't have lost against Seattle. It is what it is. I'm not going to say that they cost us the chance. Now, did some bad calls happen to help the Seahawks win? Yeah, it looks like it. But that's not why we didn't get in. It didn't help us for sure. But this has been a history of this happening, not just for the Lions. I mean, God, the Tuck rule was terrible. Back then. I mean, the Calvin Johnson rule, like we talked about a couple episodes. I mean, the list goes on, man. The Des Bryant catch.
Right.
I mean, on and on.
That was terrible. But I didn't feel bad for Dez.
No. Never feel bad for a Cowboys fan.
Right.
No. But, so it'd be interesting to see. I actually like the idea. I don't think it will hold the game up too much. Get the calls right. That's all that matters.
Thank you.
Just get the calls right.
And that's all fans want, man. Just get the calls right.
Yeah, exactly. But awesome episode, Mike, man. Love going into this stuff with you. Guys, don't forget, check out the next episode coming at you. We're giving away that PS5. We just need to hit 1,000 subscribers or followers on our YouTube page or our Podbean podcast. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, get interactive with us. We want to do this. Follow us on Twitter @_Restore the Roar, where we give you that Lions information right away. Till next time, Mike. One pride.
One pride, man.